and welcome to the Epilogue. I am your host, Elda. On today's show, I am going to be sharing some of my poetry from my very first poetry book, Purplelology, Confessions of an Advocate. This was my very first poetry book I'd ever written. I had a lot of comments and compliments on my poetry, and I decided to put them all in a poetry book. And I added a couple pictures I'd taken over the time. So today I'm going to share with you one of my favorite poems, Telephones. People are telephones. Hello and goodbye. Put on hold, busy signals, hang up and try again. Disconnected, cut off for a time, or a wrong number. Try another. Seek assistance from the operator. Don't give up until you find the right connection. If you haven't reached your party, don't lose hope. There is someone waiting to talk on the other end. People are telephones. Hello and goodbye. Parting is sweet sorrow. When you hang up, you can reconnect at any time, unless the phone is no longer in service. This poem was inspired by a movie called What About Bob? If you've ever seen the film, it stars Bill Murray. I don't know, whatever you feel about Bill Murray and what's happened, you can't deny that this film has a lot of moments in it that are just incredibly awesome. And there's one scene where Bill Murray's character, Bob, talks to the oldest child about how when she gets dumped by a guy and she has a hard time with relationships, he tells her that people are like telephones. If you can't connect with one, then try another one. And I find that so true in life because there's a lot of people that try, and sometimes you get a connection and sometimes you just don't. And I think a lot of times we're quick to hang up on people and we don't give them a chance. And sometimes a lot of us, especially in the disabled community, we have been hurt so many times, or sometimes circumstances happen beyond our control and we just need our space. And sometimes you just have to wait a little bit till we're ready to talk. And it's one of my favorite poems I love to write about, and one of my love to read. The cover art for my book is another story. I have a collection of masks. I'd love to collect masks. And the cover art's one of my favorite masks. It's beautiful. It has a really nice design on it. And I took a picture of it and decided to put a purple hue on it. And I thought it looked pretty cool because a lot of times in the disabled community, you are kind of wearing a mask whether you feel good or you don't. And I think when you don't feel good, you end up putting a mask on very often. Another one of my favorite poems I loved writing about is Carry On, Be Calm. Tragedy, a strange bedfellow for memory. They say never forget or always remember. I can't erase your face from mine. It's always on my mind, always in my heart. Heartbreak comes closer than a knife, striking until I dissolve into tears. This aching that prevails is waiting, anticipating a moment to come to light. I won't lose heart when the darkness draws near. I can't give up once the words hit my ears. I need hope and courage to bear the weight. Carry on, stand strong. I am not alone. Though the hour draws nigh, I won't forfeit the fight. Carry on, stay strong. I am not forsaken. I will not be shaken. I shall sally forth with a song on my lips, ready to take the worst and make the best of it. I walk on, staying calm, knowing I am not alone. I tell you, that's not always easy to do. But I wrote this, I can't actually remember when I wrote this, but I wrote it down. It was just one of those poems that just kind of came into my head. And I thought it was very interesting to write about carrying on. Because you always read those I guess maybe it might have been from a Keep Calm shirt and Carry On. And I guess I was playing with the words a little bit with that. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to move on to another poem of mine. Well, actually, rather than a poem, I'm going to move on to one of my favorite pictures. I'm going to have it posted on my page so you can look at it. It's a necklace made by my very best friend, whom I will call Clavicle Havoc. And she designed a necklace for me to help pay tribute to epilepsy awareness. It has a bird on it and a purple ribbon on it that helps me represent epilepsy awareness and help spread it. When I became an ambassador purple in 2013, I wanted a way to sort of represent myself with it. So I asked her to sort of make me one, and she did. And she made it around March 26th, which is Purple Day, which is a great holiday created by a gal named Cassidy Megan. And I'll have details about that posted where you can connect and what it's all about, which is a day dedicated to representing awareness for epilepsy. That's enough about the wonderful necklace that I've been made. And now finally, I'm going to do one about technical difficulties. Please stand by. It's not simple accessing the part of my mind which experiences technical difficulties. Please stand by while I try to recall part of my history. I search my memory banks but find them blank slates. Somewhere in the hard drive there is some trace of it. If you find this part of my life, notify me. Bear this one out by my side. Don't leave me, dear friend. Calm your fears. Assuage them. Your apprehension won't help me here. Be a rock to stand by in this whirlpool of forgetfulness. Let me try to remind myself what is gone and be able to move on. Taking a lot of epilepsy medications and ones for chronic migraines has affected my memory a lot. One of the side effects is brain fog. And for a lot of my college time when I went away to Pittsburgh, a number of incidents and time up at that college I can't really remember. And even the time post-college, a number of incidents I can't even remember because my mind is complete blank slate and I can't find them. I know they're locked somewhere in my head, but I just can't access them. And a lot of times I've been very ill and I've had to take medications just to feel better. And when I wake up, it would take me a number of days to just feel better. So technical difficulties is about those times when I just can't remember because brain fog sucks. If you've ever experienced brain fog, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It's this big mist of forgetfulness that just falls on your brain. And when you're trying, or if you run into somebody and they know who you are and you can't remember how you met them or who exactly they are or where you met them, and you're trying to pull up your Rolodex of names, faces, addresses, numbers, and you just can't seem to find it. That's exactly what technical difficulty or brain fog feels like. And it's not fun. But you learn how to work around it. Sometimes you have to play word games with it, and you just have to try not to sound silly, try not to feel so silly about it, or be too embarrassed. And it's okay if you have to ask somebody, how do I know you, or how do you know me? But I do, and I try not to feel too embarrassed about it. Okay, this last one I would like to share today is one dedicated to a friend of mine, and she made this poem possible called My Brain Has Stage Fright. My brain has stage fright, fearing failure and discovery. My mind is not ready to enter the age of tests which read and spike and wave. It can't handle the pressure of an all-nighter. Hyperventilation sets in. Colors come in a firework of settings. Patterns boldly challenge my thinking, but I know this is not the end of me. I know I must push through. Victory is hard won and war with each blister, each painful scourge. I can't let epilepsy conquer me. Choose wisely how to handle circumstances. Overcome. My brain has stage fright. Nevertheless, I will fight. Come on, epilepsy. Bring it on. This came from frustration and annoyance and getting tests with an EEG where nothing shows up. And you know you have something, but no matter how many EEGs you get, nothing shows up. Even a VEEG. Sometimes, which stands for a video, like a cephalogram. I know I said that really fast. A VEEG. There, I said it a little slower, which is a video, like an encephalogram, which is a test used for people with epilepsy, or if you've had any sort of concussion or brain damage, they use that to check your brain, see what's going on, and do all sorts of testing to sort of trigger you. And sometimes nothing shows up. And it's very frustrating when you know there's something wrong, but you can't prove it. And you do all the research you can to find your triggers, and nothing shows up. I cannot tell you how frustrating that is. I've experienced that. And then it took years and then it took years and years and years and years until, okay, there is something wrong. And I'm just standing there, and half of me in my mind is mentally screaming and like, of course it is. Duh. I've known that for a long time. And you just want to, and you're just silently, internally screaming in your head, of course I've known this for years. And you want to go, where have you been? I've known this for a long time. Okay. I just gave myself permission to say that out loud. Maybe you need to give yourself permission to say it out loud after screaming into your pillow. It's okay to scream. Okay? Just want to let you know that if you're feeling that frustration right now, go ahead, find a place, find a room, and just scream into your pillow, scream into the closet. If you're feeling that frustration, it's okay to do that. And then you'll feel better once you get to do that. Alright, so that's enough about those chapters of my life, and maybe I made you smile a little bit, maybe I made you laugh a little. But next time on the show, I'll talk a little bit about another episode, another book. Maybe I'll share a little more stories. And who knows, maybe I'll have a guest star. Until then, have a great week, and continue to show your support for me by checking on the links to my Patreon account. You can become a member of Patreon and support me for as little as $3 a month. You can become a member of my Patreon page called Epivision, where you'll get some cool merchandise, learn the latest scoop, and find out what new projects I'm working on. Also, you can join me at my Ko-fi store called Purplelicious, where you can make brainiversaries a thing. What's that, you're asking? Well, brainiversaries are a celebration of the brain. Having an anniversary for your brain when you're not experiencing a seizure or a brain fog, or maybe if you've had a stroke or any big event that causes your brain to go through a brain fog, a seizure, or any event that makes your life hard, but you just want to celebrate your brain, then celebrate a brain anniversary. And you can help make that possible by joining my Ko-fi page and buying me a wonderful cookie for as little as $1. You can do that for me and buy my merch by celebrating brain anniversaries for someone. Or you could buy one of my stickers or a book. I would really appreciate that. Thank you so much, and tune in next time.